Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a Shop My Stash full face makeup. I wanted to bring out some things that I have not used in quite a while, including my Mario palette and a lot of other really great items. So if you'd like to see how I created this look using products that I already had, just keep watching. For foundation, I picked out an oldie but a goodie. This is from Lavender and it is the Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation. I have shade 12. Honestly, my body is quite a bit darker than my face, but this is going to match, and then I just covered up the rest of my body, so hey, why not? I'm going to take this and apply it directly to my classic base from Sonia G. So I'm just going to do like so. And then start applying. This is my perfect winter shade, but I'm just gonna bronze it up. I'm gonna bronze it up and then it'll be all good. I forgot how good this foundation smelled. You can kind of see like how dark my forehead is. Bronzer, bronzer, bronzer. I would take a candle in the smell of this, or the fragrance of this foundation. I don't know how to say that. It just smells so good. I'm just gonna apply one layer and then go in with concealer and apply it anywhere I might need it other than underneath my eyes. Oh, this looks so good. I forgot. It's like I knew this was a good foundation. I wore it for a little while, but sometimes you forget. This is why I love Shop My Stash. Now, I did want to get on here and give a few updates for you guys so you could watch me do my face for today and I could give you guys some updates. So I want to start off with my grandfather. He is doing so much better, you guys. I cannot even tell you. He still has his limitations, but he's at home. He's doing therapy at home now, and like he's getting older, obviously, and there's things that are, I said one layer, but I just feel like I need to add just a little bit more to my cheeks. When he first was home, it was kind of like, it was sad. His son died, obviously, but I think he's starting to just be able, and it's not something you really get over, but I guess you learn to accept. Can't imagine my kids passing before I did, but anywho, not to be dreary, I'm so glad that my grandfather is still with us and my grandmother is doing well as well. I read a few of the little notes to her and she's just so grateful, and so am I. But I wanted to let you guys know that he is doing better. He has to stay sitting quite a bit, but he's better. He's at home. He's, with his family, and that is just huge in my personal opinion, and it just makes me really happy. So I'm hoping to be able to see him and my grandmother through the holidays. That would just be, it would be everything. It would be everything. All right, another thing that I have not used in a while, because Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer is the bee's knees, so I haven't used this, and this was like my holy grail for a while. It is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced. So I'm going to use this. This is the shade Natural Beige. And okay, I have to remember what else I wanted to talk about because it's hard for me to focus on more than one thing at a time. Hold on. I wrote down some notes so that it would be a little bit easier. Where's my phone at? Oh, okay, I remember now. So obviously my grandmother is the one that's holding down the fort. She is, having to take care of everything because she's the mobile one in the house. And I know I've told you guys several times that my favorite flowers are orchids and roses. So that's why I got so excited about Vintage Rose, because it really did embody a rose. And while talking to my grandmother, I don't think I had ever told her this, but as a kid, we all, everybody just lived close. We all lived in this whole plot of land, and little pieces were sold to family members, but we all lived close. Well, I would work for my grandparents, both for my grandfather and for my grandmother, oh, I forgot how much I like this concealer. And there was one thing, and it didn't matter if I had gone over there to work or if we were just going to visit. She had this huge garden. Now she has a garden that, you know, fruits, vegetables, just like, you know, food. But then she has a flower garden. And one of my jobs was always to keep the flower garden up, you know, pull weeds. And it was like instilled in my brain to really, really soak the plants when I watered them, because you didn't want the roots to move up to the surface or whatever and there not be enough water or whatever. I don't remember how exactly the story goes, but I just remember always counting in my head. So I would be watering the flowers and I would be counting so that I knew I got all of them done. And when I tell you, this is like one of the biggest flower gardens at a house that I have ever seen. It just seemed like it should be at one of those museums or something outside of the house, or, you know, just, I don't know, it's massive. And she always, I'm gonna put a little bit more right here. She always had roses, and they were the most beautiful things. I know, like, a rose is something that you see a lot. You buy them for your, you know, significant others, for friends, for everything. So it's kind of a flower that is definitely, you know, if someone says, oh, that's my favorite flower, it's like, oh, okay, typical. But for me, it has such a meaning behind it, because my grandmother would always let me, and she was not okay with like her flowers being messed with, because she was out there in the morning, you know, digging and doing all this stuff. She just worked so hard on it, and I helped maintain it. But every time I went over there, she would give me clippers, and I was allowed to bring home a rose. And that has stayed with me for the longest time. It was one of my favorite memories growing up. I don't know, there's something so special about it. And there are several roses, rose types that I have been on the hunt for, so I could add them to my garden. I have several different roses, but I want more. I want them everywhere. But anywho, I just wanted to tell you guys that story, because for me it's really, really, really special. And I'll never forget that. And I think while my grandfather was in the hospital, I believe that was the first time I had ever told her about that story, like that memory, and how much that meant to me. And I remember her smiling and kind of like, she teared up a little bit. My grandmother does not cry. So I've only seen her tear up a little bit a few times, obviously because of my grandfather. And then like when I told her that, it was, I think it meant something to her as well. And then speaking again, okay, oh, I'm using some things that you can't get your hands on today, because it's a shop my stash. It's a use my products that I have video. So I'm using my Becca under eye brightening powder. I love this stuff, so I thought today would be a good time to use it, and I'm using a Weingast number 4 to apply it. So anywho, back to the roses. Diesel, as you guys all know, my soft coated, I'm not crying today. I waited specifically to talk about these things so that I wouldn't come on here upset, and I just don't want to cry. So I want to make this a very special, meaningful, you know, video for me, as well as using products I already own. I always get powder in my hair and I forget to get it out. So I have been picking my roses when they get that long stem on them, and I put them at his grave, which happens to be, in case you guys missed it, it's on Instagram. We dug a big hole, we buried him, but on top of it there is a pink, oh my goodness, it's a certain type of pink dogwood, and I just thought it would be beautiful to let him be a part of this tree's growth. And I always put flowers on there, and now I'm taking my roses and I'm putting them with him. I don't know, it just means quite a bit to me. And when I got out of the hospital, my roses, they needed some loving. And I didn't have flowers, and so I will either do the roses or buy some flowers to put on his grave. I just thought that was the best way to like memorize him. That doesn't sound right. I don't know. Memorialize him? Maybe that's the word. And Puffin brought me home. It was the second day. I think I was home from the hospital, and he brought flowers for Diesel, and I lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind, because when I had come home, I saw that the flowers that were out there for him, I have a little vase that is kind of pushed into the ground just a little bit, and I put flowers in there so that they last a little bit longer versus just laying them on the grave, which I had first done. He went and got him flowers, and he was like, these are for Diesel, and I was like, I am going to go in with my La Prairie. I just wanted to roll my tongue. Don't ask why. This is the Skin Caviar Loose Powder. I can't believe, I'm going to run out of this. It took so long. Oh my gosh, because there's so much in here. I remember thinking this powder is expensive, but in comparison to the other powders that I was buying, the price per gram was a lot less. Now I know I have a lot on my brush. This is a brush I cannot pronounce this. It's from Sonia G. I'm just going to tap this around, and then I'll start buffing it in. So now I wanted to talk about Charlie. So I did not know what to do, because this was the saddest part with her. So the doctor, or the vet, told me not to bring her to when we had to let him pass away. Not let him pass away, but euthanize him. Whew, just a second. Okay. When we euthanized him, they said not to bring her because it could upset her. And I was like, okay. And then when we left, they said to go ahead and let her see the body of him. And so we brought him home in this, it was like wrapped up in this blanket. It was so, like, it was just really pretty. We brought him home, and Charlie, bless her heart, they said to let her see him. So she came outside, and he was on the porch, covered up, completely covered up. And she ran over to him, wagging her tail, just like trotting, so happy, because, you know, she hadn't seen him in a couple days. And that's not typical. They're never separated, like, ever. And you could see, we opened up the top part where his head was, and her ears went back, and she lay down. Oh my God, it was so sad. I'm still not gonna cry. So seeing her do that was devastating. So if anybody has some, I've looked up different ways to help, she's right here, different ways to help a dog get through a loss of another dog. One said to get a toy, and I felt so bad because I put a lot of his toys and stuff down in the grave with him, because I just, those were his. You know, those were his toys. So, and then, I don't have any powder. I am just like lollygagging here. I was like, oh crap, I don't know if I have his toys. I kept some things, but I just like, I don't want them to be messed with. I want them to stay how they are and leave it that way. You know what I mean? So by luck, just by luck, there was this long snake where it has, like, it's like this wide, and then in each little section has like a squeaker in it. And Diesel would take, he would have nearly all of them out in one day, except for this one snake. It was so long, and then he worked on it and worked on it, and then we would play tug of war with it, and it actually ripped in half. So I went berserk, just like trying to find something. And then by luck, I got underneath the ottoman, because Charlie always hides everything underneath the ottoman, and I thought, well, maybe there's something underneath there. I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, and this is the old one. This is the Tom Ford bronzing powder in 01 Gold Dust. This is the powder formula, not the gelée. What brush do I want to use? I don't know. I've got this one out. I think I'll just go with this. This is the Royal Langnickel BOM 34. And I'm just gonna start warming up my skin. So I got underneath, like, I physically couldn't fit. It's like this big. It's so close to the floor. And she always puts like, not rawhide bones, but just bones underneath there. And then her favorite toys, this and that. And under there was the other half of the snake. And I'm going to insert a picture. It's the saddest thing. She, when I put it on the bed, at first she was laying on it, sleeping. And then she had turned around towards me in the bed. And she just had this saddest look. It was so sad. And I have been trying to figure out what to do. And her breed does not do well with just being alone. You know, there's anxiety there, and she's a really good dog. She doesn't bark a lot. She's so calm all the time. She plays a little bit, but really she just likes to snuggle up with you. Before, whenever I would leave, she would just, you know, it bothered her, but she had Diesel. So, you know, it wasn't that bad. Well, now, if you go to leave, she will dart. I mean, you better have her or somebody holding her, or you open that door just to go to the mailbox and she is going to dart thinking that you're going to leave her. I got her for Diesel, actually, because I was working so much, but then also as an emotional support dog because of my anxiety and going different places, just a lot of different things. So she is registered as an emotional support dog, not a service dog, but just emotional support. So she can go some places. When I was in the hospital, she was able to come. You know, they checked her paperwork and whatnot, and she was able to be there with me there. Of course, Puffin took her home every night, and then he would bring her back during the day. And she went to her first movie the other night. So I was like, I'm not ready to get another dog, and I don't know how she would do with another one, because if I got another dog, it would be like her, another Yorkie, and hopefully a party Yorkie or a Brewer. But I think that she might have some, I just don't know if she would like having another little small dog, or she would just boss the crap out of it. She bossed Diesel around, but Diesel, he loved her so much, and I mean, he would protect her. So yeah, I don't know. Unless things got really bad or I felt like she really needed another dog, I wouldn't do it, because I just take her everywhere with me. You know, we go shopping, she's in a little backpack, I wear it, she's with us, you know, that's how it is. She's in this little tent. It is so cute. She's so adorable. And like I said, she's really good. She's a really good dog. She's gotten a lot better. Before we couldn't even say Diesel's name. Like right now I'm saying it several times and she's right here. She's like, oh, she's much better about it. You can still see some sadness because when I take her for walks, she will usually go to the spots that Diesel marked and she sniffs around and looks around for him. But generally speaking, she is so much better, and I'm hoping that that continues. I've read that it can take up to 6 months. I'm definitely no expert on this. I've never had 2 dogs and 1 die before. That's just not something I've experienced. So I'm just trying to do my best to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for her. But yeah, she seems happier now. In the beginning, she was definitely depressed, but she seems a lot happier now. And she's definitely mommy's little girl. She's always with me. And I'm gonna take this brush, no additional product. I just like to make sure that I don't have bronzer just being kind of splotchy or anything. Oh, I forgot how much this powder is. So pretty. It's so pretty. Okay. I don't even know if this palette is going to work anymore, you guys. I just feel like this is an icon. It is the Master Palette by Mario, Anastasia, Beverly Hills. And this is what I'm going to use today. And we'll see. How old is this? I don't even remember. Well, and it has a 6-month shelf life, so it's definitely past date. We will see if this little beauty works. So let's get started on that. Zoeva 227 and Lula, I think that is. I'm going to start this on the outer corner. Again, I don't really have a rhyme or reason of what I'm doing. I just wanted to use this palette because it's one of my favorites. I just love this palette so much. And I had a subscriber send me one and thank you so much. I'm just like, yes, I feel a little bit better about using it. I know that doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you buy something and then it's limited edition and you're terrified to use it? I know I'm not the only one, but you know, I do hear about people who are just like, oh well, you know, I'm gonna use it. And I'm just like, what if I hit pan on my favorite shade? And it doesn't make any sense because if you bought it, obviously you should be using it. So yeah, I feel better now. I'm still waiting. I'm like, please bring this back. Just do it. Do it. We would all be okay with it. It's been gone for long enough. Just have like even just do a limited re-release for its anniversary or something. I don't know. Like, can we just bombard Anastasia and tell her, please bring this back? We love her. Oh, and there was another thing I wanted to tell you with Diesel. This happened about a week ago now. And there was a FedEx driver. And I mean, Diesel wanted to just love on everybody. But not everybody are dog people. And I would usually just put him up and then get the door type of thing if I needed a sign for something. But there was this one FedEx driver. I don't know what it was about him, but he is a very kind, gentle soul. And I think Diesel picked up on that. And I remember him getting out one day because I didn't hear the FedEx truck coming. And I went to go outside to take them to the bathroom. And he got out and he loved on this man. Like nothing. He just, if you've ever heard of the wheat and greeting, that's not even something that we let him do. But this man would get down on his knee and love on Diesel. He remembered him every single time he came to our house. And I would let Diesel go out and play with this guy. I do know his name, but I'm not going to put it out there. There truly was something special about this guy and like their little interactions. It was so kind and cute and just, I hadn't seen him since he passed, Diesel passed, and I thought I really wanted to get something for him because I don't know, I wanted him to be able to remember him, but I didn't know his name or anything like that. And the other day I opened up my garage. I was about to go somewhere or check the mail, do something. I opened up my garage and there he was. And Charlie came out and Charlie was loving on him and whatnot. And he was like, where's Diesel? And then, tears welled up and Wengas number 19. What do I want to go in with? I don't know. I think I'm going to go in with Violetta. And so I saw him and I did cry, and he actually stayed for a few minutes, and you know, I told him everything that had happened, and he's like, I really loved that dog. I was like, I know you did. I said, I've been actually waiting because I didn't know his name. I said, I kind of wanted to gift you something, whether it's a picture or just been racking my brain trying to figure out what to do, because I feel like Diesel truly adored him. So I got his name and I made it's not here yet, but it's a picture book from Shutterfly. And a lot of the pictures that are in the video celebrating Diesel's life are in that photo book. I took the ones out like with the kids and stuff, but I wanted to have, you know, just something to remember him by and show my gratitude for how sweet he was to Diesel. And so, yeah, I can't wait for that to come in. And then I'm going to be looking at my Ring doorbells like, is that him? Is that him? So that I can bring it out to him. You know, so far I'm pretty impressed. This is working just like I remember it working. This is, I mean, I'm not having any issues, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to bring this palette out and put it in my top drawer now that I have two. A lot of the times you guys don't see this, but I like to take a sponge and clean up the outer edge just to kind of make it a little bit more lifted. And then it shows me where I need to add pigment as well in comparison to the other eye. I'm going to take the same brush and Claudia, and I am going to deepen up. Look at that blue! Oh my goodness! I'm going to deepen up the outer lid, and I'll probably bring a little bit of the excess into the crease. But I have a question for you guys. I'm just kind of wondering if this is just me, because Puffin doesn't hear it, but I don't know if it's because I was always home, you know, working on YouTube videos and whatnot. So I always heard Diesel's footsteps or paw steps on the wood floors. When I could hear someone coming into the driveway, and it was, especially if it was going to be delivery, he would bark. He barked when Eric came home. And I still hear that. And I know it's in my head. I know it is. But I still hear it. Has anybody else experienced that? Because I asked Puffin, and he's just like, no. It's like he misses him, but he doesn't have that experience. And I just wondered if that is like a normal thing, or if anybody else has had that happen. I'm curious. I'm trying to find a specific brush. I want my 28 from REPHR. Come here, 28. I know you're in here because you're clean. I found it. And now I am going to go in with, I could go in with the green. I've done, I'm going to use a little bit of the green. This is Bronx. I'm going to place this right beside the blue up into the crease just slightly. I can't believe how well this is still working after all these years and having a 6-month shelf life. That's incredible to me. Then I'm going to use a lighter shade on the inner portion of the eye. I'm going to flip my 28 over and go in with 5th Avenue. And this is what I will use on the front portion, tapping it just where I have no shadow first, and then blending it over the green, slightly up into my crease. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I know that these colors aren't necessarily anything special. It's more about this texture. I haven't even seen, not that I can think of off the top of my head, her do these textures again. They're softer, they're, I don't know how to, they're creamy, but not super foiled. Oh my gosh, I want her to bring this back out. REPHR 21 in Hollywood. Take this up my brow arch, clean up one more time, and then I'm going to go in on my lower lash line. I'm going to use Violetta on a REPHR number 3. My lower lash line. My camera is doing the, oh, I'm getting hot. So I'll see how much of this I can get done. I'm going to go ahead and add liner on while I wait for this to calm down. I'm going to use my MAC my gel liner in, you guys remember it, Rich Ground. I'm going to apply that to the top, do inner rim liner, and then mascara. And the mascara I'm using is this one from Marc Jacobs. What is this called? the Velvet Noir Major Volume Mascara, and then I will be right back. My eyes are done, but I do want to add just like a little something something from this palette. I'm going to take the shade Marina right here on a Bristles Beauty P06 RF, and I just want to pop this on the inner corner and just blend it out a little bit. And then I did add on inner rim liner. I didn't use anything older. I just used my Patrick Ta. I almost said Pat McGrath. All right, so that finishes that off. Now I'm gonna do my cheeks. I do already have my liner on. I went in with MAC Oak. I can't even tell you how long it's been since I've used even a MAC liner, but MAC Oak. This has been a hot minute. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to blush. This happens to have, I love this blush because not only the blush is really, really nice. It's from YSL and it is called the Face Palette Collector Street, the Street and Eye. And it says, I have a blush on you. And I just think it's so cute and the color is stunning. So this is what I'm going to apply for my blush. And I'm going to use a Wangas number 2. I love coral blushes. I just think they're so pretty and they really look healthy. I don't know. It could be my skin tone or something like that, but I just love them. I kind of want to put some of this around the edge of my shadow. So this is a Lunar Beauty E3. I'm gonna pick up some of that shadow. Just go on the very outer portion right here, because why not? I love tying in my blush with an eye look. Yeah, just very softly blend it on and into the other colors. Make sure it's even as possible. And I just think it's pretty. I think it's pretty. For highlight, I have 2 options. I want to use this one, but I don't know if it's going to be too light. This is the Laura Mercier Highlight 01. If you want something that is nearly texture proof, other than, I mean, we all have texture on our skin. This does not enhance it, just like the 3D All Over Glow powder that I love, but this is lighter. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to use it. And just in case, I got Cookie from Benefit as a backup, but I'm gonna try to use this one. Linda Hallberg 306. Ooh, I used to use this highlight to death, and I think this is gonna be fine. Do you see how radiant it is? And you can put it on a little lighter and it just looks like it's a glow from within. It's so pretty. I live for it. I'm gonna have to add on a little bit of, like, mix it in with my blush a little bit, but oh, I love this. I need to put this back in my top drawer. And chin glow. Oh my gosh. I'm glad this color still works. I mean, it is a little bit light, but I don't mind it. I think it's so pretty. And then I'm gonna go back in with my blush brush. No additional product. Just kind of going slightly over that so it's not too intense there. And then I'm gonna take no additional product on this brush and just buff into my skin a little bit around the edges of my blush. And then I have one I will specifically use on my pores, and it's from my project pan. I kind of want to be using my project pans as much as possible in these type of videos. Fenty Beauty Lavender Pro Filter Powder. I'm gonna place this on my pores. I have to use very little because I don't want it to be too bright. And then do you see it further diffused the highlight? Let me take this. I want to add just a little bit more back in. And it really makes the pores look amazing. And if you're needing some extra brightness underneath the eyes, you can definitely go in with this. I'm gonna go a little bit up here. Yeah, that looks good to me. Like I mentioned, I do already have cork liner over my lips, and yes, I did pick at them. I've been so good about not doing that, and then I just kind of started up recently. I think it's because I've had a few lip masks that weren't working well, So yeah, I'm going to Aquaphor right now. I'm going to go in with Tom Ford's AUTOEROTIQUE, something like that. I believe they discontinued this. Why? I don't know, because it is so pretty. I love this shade. It's just, there's something really just beautiful about it. It has this peachy terracotta that's not too overwhelming. Even on like deeper skin tones with a little bit of a deeper liner, it's really pretty. And I love the formula. I don't understand. And that, my beauties, does finish off the look. And I just realized I don't have any of my rings on. When I did that, I was like, oh, what is missing? But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really like picking up old favorites and trying them again. I'm so glad that this palette still works. I just think it's so pretty. Anywho, let me know what you think about this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.